unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home.
So, another beautiful day on the Pan-African Daily TV. This wonderful Thursday, the Africans, ladies, gentlemen, kings, queens, and elders, you're welcome to this wonderful and special edition. Breaking today on the continent is a very sad video that is circulating now, coming from my people, from the southern Cameroons. I mean, there's been a video that is so, I don't know how I can describe that. You know, so if you're signing in, please just share the stream, because there's just a lot that we want to share today. We want to learn on tips on training and how to get started with Kojo Bentil, our elder, all the way from Ghana, Accra. But apart from that, they just some pertinent things like the situation in Southern Cameroons, and I think even everywhere on the continent and its diaspora, to get into this kind of conversation. What is behind this? There's just too much evil going on, and honestly speaking, you don't even have, you can't take a deep breath. They're not just some stuff that we can say these are normal happenings. How can people burn down a house and burn a baby to death? I mean, this video is so heartbreaking. I mean, the Facebook is taking it down and some other platforms, because it's just so impossible to see this kind of human wickedness. Most of the time we complain about the systems or the agenda. We blame it on any, and we keep asking ourselves, who are the ones doing this? Is it not us Africans? Is it not us Cameroonians? Doesn't matter whether it's from what part. Who is that human that still have, you know, his mental faculty, that is still human in the word, in the sense of humanity, that could do such a thing? Not even animals. Animals is another human species, yes, but I'm talking about the two-legged humans, not the four-legged. Burn a baby to death. A baby. African people, we need to wake up. The evil among us. And that's why I'm happy to have Kojo here today in the studio, because, you know, are there some forces that are actually controlling the invisible hand, that are just, you know, manifesting into humans, and you look at them, you think they are human beings, but they aren't. They're just some species. There's some demons. There's some aliens. I mean, we look at ourselves, we think that we are humans. We stand in the mirror and mirror ourselves. I mean, the situation in this part called Batibo in the southern Cameroons, we didn't see that they are Europeans or they're white supremacists that were doing that. It is us doing it to our own people, burning our people in their homes. And a baby was picked up today like a piece of meat that is black in this video. I've been heartbroken the whole day. And I know all of you that are watching me, you must have seen that video. But the situation gets, I mean, there are conflicts that we see. But this particular conflict where they target babies, I've never seen this. No, it's unimaginable. I mean, let's get into this conversation about us. Who really is and what forces are working against our unity? What is the invincible hand, the demons that are manifesting in us? And we look at ourselves as thinking that we're humans. But all we know is just to destroy one another. Laugh with you even, play with you, the way your neighbors, they could be even people in the quarter, they could be even from your household. How are we going to survive? And we keep talking about the agendas that have been set, but now it is just killing ourselves. It is so sad. And us from the Pan-African Daily TV, our hearts and our condolences goes to this family. I cannot imagine what the mother, I cannot imagine what even this community. I mean, me sitting here like a daughter, a sister, a mother, a black woman. And I can imagine my whole brain was just tumbling today, trying to get into the brain of who the woman, the mother, whose biological child he is. It is sad, please. Let us put our spirituality at the top and to know that anything that is physical is not important. We can do all the showcase and showbiz and whatever, but the spiritual, what we don't see, is what is manifesting in us and make us act in a kind of a demonic way, and we feel good about it. You understand? It doesn't even make any difference. We hurt each other and we are happy about it. And we even say, no, it's our way of life, it's our attitude. Come on, give me a break. What has just gotten into us? I'm happy to welcome Kojo here on the show with me. And like I said, our condolences to that bereaved family mourning out there and to any other. We know that there are prisoners that have been incarcerated in Uganda, in South Sudan, in Sudan, in Ethiopia, in the Congo, in Democratic. I mean, it's just everywhere. Where are we going to start from? Kojo? Good evening, Elder Kojo.
Evening, my queen. How you doing?
Not very good. Like, I don't know, you were just hearing me. I was talking about the situation in Southern Cameroon. Today, we just got some very disturbing videos that are going viral of a baby that was burnt. You know, they burnt the house. Apparently, that baby was in. I mean, if you see these images, it's not, I don't know. Yeah. So I want to ask, what is that invisible hand that is just manifesting into us and change and transform us, and we don't even realize it?
Before we go into it, can we just, I mean, not necessarily pray, but just honor the powers that be, the
Okay.
creator powers. Odomakuma, yeah, Edoas, Odomakuma, Nana, Edoas, Odomakuma, Yenuaso, Odomakuma, Edoaso, Nana, Edoaso, Odomakuma, 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 Odomakuma. Papa, the man, papa, the other was sick. But I'm back out of we are sick. I will be your we are sick. Bibia, you are our Amfa. Namfin yen swimming in Pedicine. Obambo to what dog. Why Jim Pie woman in Pedicine, na papa. Edward dog boy in pa, the Nabas I see. Papa, the was. It was yes, you know so. The other was so. Very well, was swimming and I see was so. Bibi many na that was. Chediampo. Ya chow son, and Jensa and Noman son, so ya chow son. Sunday, I year and said the end, I said, the end to 2 minutes. Papa, ya chow son. Sasia, mammy, I wait, Jensa, mammy, but a pious Jensa. A straight to me now, one Jensa. A sassy to me now, one Jensa. A Jerry asked to me now, one Jensa. You should be asked to me, Nanam. That's one Jensa. Go boy, your home, but what can you home? When young cock, when young back. And they see, and I do, and I bet it, and I'll, and I am, and if and I make, and I make one is so young on son. To me, I can sack us away and wishing, and I'm young on son. That's the other one I see. Papa Ndron ye busua bodri nananum ye no so. Abosume do so ne so no wo gwa nananum onjensa. One chami na Papa Ntem onjensa. One here na table, that's one jensa. Na abosuma from one saying. Na abosum ska one saying. Nanum ye no so. Wo ye we busua mu. Wo ye onya na brabo. Yes ye no so. Na hwehwema one saying. Na brabo na one saying. Etumi we chen we hia nananum. Ye nje wonko. Antwa ye monsa. Anti calling ye monsa. Densu jensa. Ayesu jensa. Praso jensa. Ankobra ye monsa. Now for Jaimo, now for Jaima, Yamonsa, Nana, Yada was sick. Papa Drain ye bushing ye but dream with Jenna or Derrinity. You are ship. Not from me. Yada was so Nana. Yada was so Nana. Who to me? Mekanyo. They peg your bushing. Peg your uncle, Yasi, my fanina. But I made Jinabia so much man fight. My boson. My man Sanati. Damn pat. Nana from Manankasa. Oh, I one way page you saying, you ever do preparatory. You make us come with saying, the other was. I don't watch your Pan African TV. Pan African Day TV was your now. What's what the one I saw, and I'm a Ghana, the other was. Now, for Jaima, we jelly no the real. Yes, be my bosom will be money, Nana. One Kenya one. Mojan and Kenya one, Nana. Mojan and Kenya one, Nana. Mojan and Kenya one, OJ. You wait, Juma. Mojan and Kenya one. Mojan and Kenya be madam back our property. Which I always share. I don't know what man, Nanny. I don't know where be many more. I don't know what boy, I don't know what picture on. I don't know where he is. I don't know when the boy was swear away. When I know that cancer, I don't know when I gen no baba because someone to none. Yes, right. Now the diamond, Mojan and direct. Mojan and Pedro. Mojan and come on. Mojan and come on show. Uncle to me which and which yes. Nana. Mojan in the room on direct. Mojan in the room on direct. Mojan in the room under. Mojan in the room. Nade. Mojan in the room. Oja. Yada was it. It be money. The was it. Yes, right. Yadi Jumajisha was that. Obio that Jumbon Baba Hebia Nana. Mojan and Dino Wedgeman. Obio that and Papa take Jumazi, Nana. Yes, right. The Ujan Ball one, Ujan Bacano, Ujan Bob Bonoban, Ujan Bay Pigeon, Mampa, Na Bravo, SPB Pa. You don't ask me no. You don't ask me no. No. You don't ask me. OJ, that's very weak when you bring. You don't ask it. You don't ask it. You don't ask it. No. You don't ask it. There's a bushia. Wash a bayon quan. This one inside. They may be free bay biara. Wherever this child came from, whichever this dimension came from. Now of it, we bring the family before you. We ask that the spirit of this child move on into another vessel. Pick a vessel. May the assignment that was brought into this dimension via the body that this child possessed not be lost to humanity, not be lost to his family. Wherever this child came, whichever dimension, whichever cage, whichever channel, whichever entrance this child came out from, we ask that the spirit the being, the true self of this child be received and be honored. Whichever gate this child has exited this world through. And we ask that when this child comes again, now, let your fire protect this child. When this gift to humanity comes back to this dimension again, let your fire protect this gift. Let your fire burn and secure this gift. We ask that wherever this gift is, let your fire settle and bring calmness to this amazing gift. This gift of a child has only left the body, but this gift is not dead. This child is not dead. Wherever you are, child, we are grateful that you came to visit us. We ask that don't let the ignorance of humanity, don't let the ignorance of humanity keep you from coming back to visit us again. May you find the right channels, the right avenues. May you come back renewed and reformed and renowned and stronger and better. Let your gift not repent ever coming into this dimension. We are grateful. You don't ask me no, no. You don't ask me no, no. You don't ask me. Ojo, buy away tomorrow. Buy away tomorrow. Ojo, I'm on feja. Buy away tomorrow. Buy away tomorrow. Ojo, I'm on feja. Buy away tomorrow. Buy away, Juma. Buy away, Juma. Buy away, Juma. That's it. My queen.
Yes, Kojo.
Yes.
Yes, my king.
We ask that this child does not repent ever choosing to come to this dimension.
Okay.
But find better avenues and channels to come back to bless humanity.
Okay.
Like I was saying in the prayer, the child has moved on. Nobody can kill any being. Every being is sustained by life. Life cannot be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, in as much as it's sad, our condolence as a family goes to the family. And there's no point saying anything about whoever the perpetrators are. We only ask that they come to a place of understanding and knowing and awareness of who they are. Because in this dimension, in as much as a lot of people might not like the sound of this, there's nothing bad. Everything is good. So our condolences goes out, but it's good that this has happened because this is deliverance for somebody else. So that is what I would say about it.
Okay. Thank you very much. And yeah, my king, it is not even only about that. I mean, we're talking about what is the advantage that we could use or we could communicate. Is it, I don't know, maybe I'm not putting it right. Our lives on this dimension just program upon everything that we do, or we can influence it?
The program is nobody comes into this dimension with a program.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, we can say that because technically somebody else will say our given assignments are also programming softwares that have been programmed by the creator to see us unveil the hidden mysteries and truths that is given to us as his creation. But at the same time, everybody comes into this dimension with a clean sheet, wiped memory. Not that it's gone, not that it's totally lost, but at the same time, it's sealed. And so long as your memory is sealed when you come into this dimension, whether you recover this memory or not, every single second you spend in this dimension is writing a whole new program. And these programs that are being written by you and nobody else is what will literally define the sort of life you will live in this dimension. Of course, unless you come into awareness where you undo the programmings that you've programmed yourself. So I know, coming from where we are coming from, the slightest thing that happens, we want to attribute it to an evil, something that is doing something against something. The question is, where is this evil? Who is behind this evil? Who is fueling this evil? So majority of the time we think an evil force is out there manipulating and infiltrating things to cause human beings to become something that they are not. Evil is not out there, it's in every single one of us. Good is not out there, good is in every single one of us. As a matter of fact, there is nothing out there. Everything that we see out there is coming from in here. So if what is in here is good, according to the identities we associate ourselves with, then what is out there will be good. So the question of what is behind it or who is behind it is every single one of us. We are behind everything that is happening in this dimension. I don't know if I answered.
No, perfectly. Just so correct. It's like in the modern or the Western education, we know about the trauma. So, but in I don't know whether in our own context or in the African setup, it is known as a curse, something like that. What is the difference?
What they call it is just let's just say it's just a name of a software called a curse, just as we have so many softwares. Because if we say somebody is accursed, then the question is, who has cursed that person?
Mhm.
Who cursed that person? And when we take out the common denominators, then we will be left with ourselves. Because it's certainly not the creator that is cursing anybody. Why would the creator create his creation and place a curse on his creation?
Mhm.
It don't even make sense. Certainly not the gods. Why would a god curse man? Because the gods don't do anything without the permission of the creator. So if the creator is not cursing any man, and the gods does not do anything without the permission of the creator, then who is cursing man? So you come to a realization that man is actually the one cursing man, and nothing beyond this dimension. There's not a single curse that works in this dimension that is not fueled by man. As a matter of fact, the gods don't curse. The gods only fulfill what we say. The powers that be only establishes what we give out. So if nothing comes out of your mouth, nothing will happen. So we cannot parade around and say that, oh, we are cursed, somebody has cursed, somebody. That don't even make sense. Because if anything at all, the creator wants to see the beautification of everything he's created. And he sees beauty in every single thing he's created. So how can beauty be cursed? Beauty is beauty. Beauty is awesome. Beauty is perfection to its square. So if everything the creator created is good and beautiful, then it means the creator did not create a curse. Curses came into the dimension, as a matter of fact, when man started losing their identity and started picking up the codings and the softwares that is programmed in this dimension, when men started leaving the dimensions and started operating through the physical essence, that is when things like curses started manifesting.
Mm.
So nobody, no single human being comes into this dimension knowing anything called a curse. Because the Creator ensures that once you get here, you starting afresh. So where is the curse coming from? It's the programming that is structured in this system by human beings. And that is actually what is going on.
So why would a set of people, Caucasians, come up with a theory of a good and an evil, and even put images to it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why does the Bible describe evil with blackness and everything that is white with goodness? Does this two force? Could people just become evil because they're black? Satan, devil?
I don't think the Bible actually describes evil as that. Everybody knows I'm not a defender of the Bible. But at the same time, the Bible does not paint black as evil. It is the operators of the tool, the operators of, because the Bible is a tool. So the operators of the tool that are suggestive, you see how they play. They are only suggesting something to you and leave you to add the conclusions to it. Because if the Bible was of a standpoint of view that black is evil, then they wouldn't plainly describe in the very Bibles that all the heroes of the Bibles are black people. Because when you go through the entire Bible, the Bible itself reveals to you that Jesus is black, that Abraham is black, that David is black, that Solomon is black, that all these people are black. So if the Bible itself is revealing to you that all these people are black, then the Bible doesn't necessarily look at blackness as evil. But they wrote it in a way that is very suggestive, that when you read it, you would absorb what you have been programmed to absorb out of it. And you will see the lines the way they want you to see it. You would never really open your eyes to understand what is really written in the Bible, because you are not seeing the Bible through your own lenses. You are seeing the Bible through those who have been assigned as the teachers and the interpreters of the Bible. That is how you see the Bible. So majority of people look at the Bible and say, my pastor says, my church says, my bishop says, my this says, my this says. But what are you saying about it? Then they put a beautiful twist to it to make you feel, oh, if I read it and I don't understand it, it means I don't have the Spirit. Well, if you don't have the Spirit, then you would never pick up the Bible anyways, because in the New Testament it says, without the Spirit, you cannot even confess Jesus as your Lord. So first and foremost, the Bible is not even saying that you need the Spirit to understand it, because the Bible says that without the Spirit, you cannot even come into salvation. So the way they wrote it and wired it is very suggestive. So when you read it, you can only see what they want you to see and not actually how it is written. But I'm not a defender of the Bible. So I understand the question though, asking why they intentionally made it so. Well, they did so in order to control a certain portion of the world that is vested with every single thing that the world needs. Now, if you are going to, let's say, rob a bank, why would you want to rob a bank? Because the bank has something of value that you want. So now you devise a plan to execute that plan effectively so that you can go in and out robbing the bank without being caught. It is the same thing. These people we know who saw our continent as a bank that has every treasure that they needed. Now they needed to come with a plan and execute this plan so effectively that nobody would actually see them stealing anything from the bank, they don't get caught physically. And once years and centuries comes to pass, whatever evidence you have to present at the case is made a foolish case, because the very system that is judging your case is the very system they created. Our fathers never created the court system to judge any case. Our fathers knew how cases are judged. If you are guilty, you die the next second. But they devised another system to sort of judge the same case that they will be found guilty. Now, let me ask a question. If the system they design is the system trying to find them guilty, then how is the system ever going to find them guilty? So they structure this thing in a way to ensure that the things that they want to do is done without giving any accountability to what they've done. So when you read the Bible and the Bible is suggesting, not telling you, suggesting to you that you are accursed, then of course, who would blame anybody for you living out the curse that the Bible is portraying? Who is at fault? Because you even believe that I'm a curse, that is why this is not working. So if you believe I'm a curse, that is why this is this way, then who are you going to blame for this happening to you?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
because most often we actually hear, I mean, between us, Africa is cursed because things don't work, because the leadership, because the economies, it's, and it looked like this case, burning kids. Okay, you've said in a ritual manner, it's always the passage. But anyway, let's go back to our topic. Today, we wanted to get some tips and trainings on African spirituality and how we get started. Over
Yes.
to you, Kojo.
Okay, now I can sit up now.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the altar, because by the time I'm done with today's teaching, a lot of people would want to start the journey of spirituality. So we'll come back to the altar and pray with some people.
Sorry, before you start that, Kojo, I've watched your sessions. I've also been in it coincidentally somehow, and I see you, the kind of prayers that you do. You're praying for the whole Africa people worldwide and their particular challenges that they are going through.
Yes. Like I said, if nothing is said, nothing is done. So it's one thing as talking about what is going on, and it's another thing actually doing something about what is going on.
Yes.
So not just me, the whole family, the whole community is actually constantly praying for everybody on the continent and everybody in the diaspora, everybody of an African descent. And not just the human beings, we are also praying with the gods as well. Now, is this not funny? Because in religion, you were taught to pray to receive something from the gods, right? To always receive something from God, from whoever the God of that particular religion is. But now see the exercise we are doing. We are actually empowering the gods to rise up and do what they were created to do. Who would want to think that, wait a minute, you are praying to empower a God? Yes. Because we are in this dimension. We are the custodians of this dimension. If we don't allow anything to function in this dimension, it would not be done. The Creator created man for this dimension and created God for their world. So just as we have our world, the gods have their world. And the Creator instructed some of them to play specific roles in this dimension. If we don't give them the access, they cannot do it. That is not how it works. If the gods can just get up and do whatever they like, trust me, we would not be in this situation right now. But they need the permission of man to do the things that they want to do. So it is our responsibility as a people that we start asking the God to take action, to take control, to do the responsibility that the Creator ensured them that they are here to do. It is our job. It is not their job. If we don't ask them in, they never come in. That is why our community have decided that, you know what, we'll not just talk about it. We'll move a step further by actually doing it and praying for our people and asking our people to wake up. Because until we start doing something, nothing will be done. Talking about it won't do anything.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask so that the audience get the point straight. Which community you keep talking about? A community? Is it a particular community or a sector, or what community is this?
Oh, okay. So now now you put me on the spot because now I have to watch my words carefully.
I'm sorry. Maybe if
No,
it is
no,
not.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. What I mean is that the Pan African Daily TV is a big community on its own. That I'm a part of this community, right? So
Yes.
when we talk about this community, it is not necessarily different from what we are doing here at the Pan African Daily TV.
Okay.
This is how should I say it? A sister community that have actually started work on the grounds in bringing economic liberty and spiritual liberty to our people, and
Okay.
also building a place that our people can come in and have a home, literally have a home. So work has, which you know about this behind the scenes, work has already begun. We've already started a little factory, and what we are doing is we've started production. So we are not, that's what I'm saying, we are not just talking, right? So that is the community. The community is called Onyamekesi Chrome. Onyamekesi Chrome is an account word. Onyamekesi, the Almighty Creator, the city of the Almighty Creator. That is the name of this community, and everybody is welcome to this community. That in case she hasn't told you guys, she's already a part of this community. So I'm telling on her now.
Kojo, yes, that's why we have to throw it back to the audience for them to get the part. I'm honored. I'm really honored to be a queen in this community, as you can hear from our brother Kojo. And yes, I wasn't I didn't choose myself, but I was chosen by the God. So it is very, very normal that we know, particularly us in the diaspora, which community do we belong to.
Yeah. So this is actually going to be a place where it's actually our home. So for instance, those who want to move to the continent and specifically move to Ghana, but this is going to happen all across the continent. It's not just going to start in Ghana, but we've started in Ghana, and what we are doing is that we have our lands. We've almost still in progress secured our land for our community as a home, a place where you stay, you raise your family. We have our own schools and all of that. We've almost secured that. We already have our farm, so we believe in economic liberty as well. So we have a farm, and we've started producing something, and very soon we're going to sell it to the international market. But we are looking at Africa first. So our focus is on the African market, and every single thing that the community is doing was enabled by the members of the community, i.e., every single member in the community brought contribution, investment together that we were able to start this thing. So this is something that is already started, and as we speak, we have close to about 20 workers working for the community, 20 people we've employed on the continent that is working for the community, and we are talking about almost 100 acres land for farming, and we have about 5 acres of palm plantation already. So this is something that is already in progress, but the doors are still open for everybody. But then the ultimate reason for this community is actually to come into spirituality, understand spirituality.
Exactly. Yes.
Dimension. So that's the main focus of this community, is to connect you to yourself. So like I said the other time, we have a program we are running called the I Am program, which introduces you to yourself for the first time. And I'll speak a bit about it when I go into the starting point of getting into spirituality. Because until like these people that went to, sorry to bring this issue with the child again, the only reason why they would do such an act is because they don't know who they are. And the only reason why people do the things they do is simply because they don't know who they are. Because when you know who you are, you would only do who you are. You not do anything beyond who you are. And when you come in tune with who you are, you only come in tune with the Creator. The Creator is not a destructive force. The Creator is a creating force. The power that brings into being, not the power that takes out. So the minute you come into yourself, the minute you find out about who you are, you automatically come to a place of giving life. Because the Creator is about creating, it's not about distracting or destroying. So when you come to a place of your I am self, that you are all about giving life, how can you ever think of hurting anybody? So that is the I am program that we run. But the community is to bring you to a higher dimension of spirituality. And the last time I spoke about witchcraft, which a lot of people, I'm sure, will go like, wait, what is he talking about, witchcraft? Witchcraft is the same thing you call in the church as the Holy Spirit. That's the same spirit.
Let me sit well.
There's no difference with that. Because when the Holy Spirit comes on you, what do? You are able to see, right? Witchcraft gives you the ability to see. You are able to hear. Witchcraft gives you the ability to hear. You are able to interpret dreams. Witchcraft gives you the ability to do that. You are able to prophesy, see into the dimension. Witchcraft gives you the ability to do it. In fact, witchcraft is even of a higher dimension than the Holy Spirit. But in the realms of the Spirit, I mean, what I'm saying is there's not a single prophet that can prophesy without seeing, right? So seeing is basically exercising the ability to see through your real eyes. Not just, this is not your real eyes. This is just the tool that your real eyes is using to perceive things. But a lot of us are walking around blind. So the craft of actually going into yourself and accessing the abilities that the Creator created you with is what we call the witchcraft. So therefore, two-syllable word, the witch and the craft, right? Which they only use that as a lack of understanding to what they do. Because the craft is alien to a lot of people, or was alien to a lot of people. So they started calling it witch. The subject witch is actually deduced from the Greek word pharmacia. Pharmacia is simply a describer of portions or a producer of portions. What is portions? Portion, herbs, mixture of herbs and drugs. Pharmacia is the same word that you have as pharmacy. It's not a different word. Pharmacia simply means, in English, is pharmacy. So the word witchcraft is coming from the Greek word pharmacia, which is called pharmacy, which is simply the ability to apportion herbs, to create portions, to do portions. So the witch, which is the ability to understand the trees, the ability to understand nature, the ability to combine trees into healing, is what is termed as witch, right? And the craft is you actually building that ability into perfection, so building the gift. So witchcraft simply means you having the ability to get in tune with nature and let nature talk back to you. That is basically what it is. But they created a word for you and demonized that word. But yet, that same word is the highest paying job in the dimension, in this physical realm. What do I mean by the highest paying job? The pharmaceutical companies are making the most money in the world today. They are making the most money out of the same word you are afraid of. Out of the same word you will not even come close. Witch. Everybody can just search it. Where witchcraft is coming from. Pharmacia is a Greek word. So they just give these titles to things they don't understand. That is why even in the New Testament it says, when the Holy Spirit comes, you begin to speak. You begin to do things. So until you are empowered by the giftings that the Creator gave you in this dimension, you can never become who you are. And these giftings are not empowered by talking about it. These giftings are empowered by gifts that are passed on from generations to generation. That is why not a single human being has the ability to say, I'm taking a witch from somebody, I'm rebuking, I'm casting a witch. You cannot cast a witch. You cannot break a witch. You cannot uproot a witch. All these people that say they've done that, they are liars. If a witch, somebody with a gift of witchcraft does not say that, you know what, I am surrendering this gift, nobody can take it from them. So this is something that they've understood and are using it for their benefit. But whenever it comes to worse, whenever anybody operates in such amazing ability, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people are not using this gift for wickedness. It's the same way people are using the pulpit for wickedness. It's the same way politicians are using their pulpit. Every field you find yourself in, you find people doing wickedness with it or doing righteousness with it. So it's not the place that you find yourself. It's the individual that is in that particular place that will determine whether that particular office would yield good or evil.
True.
Yeah, and so this is a community that we are giving room for everybody to develop their gifts, everybody to develop every ability that the Creator created. This same concept, when Hollywood brings it up, they call it the X-Men, these movies. They call it Black Panther. When they put it in the movies, it's not demonic. It's something good. You can watch it. But the minute you actually start practicing it, because what is X-Men? X-Men is basically telling you that human beings have the ability to project, to astral project, to move through buildings, to heal themselves, to turn into fire, to turn into water. These are gifts that our fathers, our ancestors operated in. But they call that evil. But they are making billions out of the same gift they are telling you is evil through Hollywood. So the very things that we have, we do not value them. We trample over them. They pick the very things, polish them up, and sell it back to us. Anyway, that's what I'm about.
You're also opening. No. I find it so fascinating because when we just look at even the keywords, because like last time you were here, Patrick posted on the Pan-African Daily TV and posted the images, and you could see the interaction. That was, I think, one of the posts that went viral because of the engagement. That word, witchcraft, I'm telling you, for Africans, that word is demonized. It's so demonized in the fact that you could see people actually just arguing like, Susan, is this what you people are doing on the Pan-African Daily? You know, like you just watch those kind of interaction. Why am I saying this? You're coming back to education, like you're saying, and we're looking for solutions for our education and our curriculum. And now, I mean, I love the idea and I'm honored to be part of this community. Just the fact that you're putting agriculture. I know you've been teaching me a lot what I should eat, what I should not eat. Can you just say a little bit about that before we enter into the tradings? Because it's very interesting. I want others to really get this point. It's so necessary.
If you want to, first, I don't want to say it for just getting money way of things, but at the same time,
yeah, did you get
call it agriculture, right? I'm trying to find the words to tone down or to bring it down. We call it agriculture because that is the term that we have given it. Our fathers did not call it agriculture. This is an English term. This is a borrowed term. Our fathers understood that you and your farm are no different. You and the plants are no different. Our fathers understood the fact that the reason why the human being is because the plant is. Our fathers understood that the only difference between the human beings, not animals, human beings and the plants is that we are mobile and the plants are not mobile to our physical eyes. Not that they are not mobile, but to our physical eyes, we don't see them move and interact and travel, and we don't see them do that. But in the dimensions, plants travel, plants speak to each other, plants communicate, plants have conferences. A single tree, a single odum, we have a tree called the odum tree. A single odum tree can be a whole city on its own. In the sense that when you get the codings to know how to enter through the tree, you go into another world. So our fathers knew that what we call our Greek now is basically an extension of the human being. Because half of you is literally hanging on the tree, i.e. your lungs, half of your lungs is hanging on the tree. So you breathe out half, you take in half from the tree. You breathe out half to the tree, So every single tree is representing a life, a human being. Hence the popular saying that goes, the last tree dies, the last man dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our fathers called the tree dia, which is tree, dia, a being, dia. And they called the human being nimpa dia. So we are called nimpa dia, and the tree is just called dia. And we have certain trees that are called yamidia, which is the God trees. So when you start to pay attention to the trees and honor the trees and take care of the trees, you are literally, automatically and spontaneously taking care of your very life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just by not even eating a tree, not even feeding off the tree. No, just planting a tree and taking care of the tree. You literally save your life. Literally. There are certain trees that when you plant, so long as the tree remains, you can never die. Not you can never die.
You mean you stay forever? I don't know. I don't
So
get
long
it.
as the tree remains. When your time has come to exist in the dimension in a particular place, you don't leave this dimension. You only relocate to another place. Nobody will see what happens to you. You just move to another place. And you start the whole life there. So long as that tree remains alive. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the relationship between man and tree is something that we've underestimated for our entire life. In the sense that we treat trees as almost to nothing. So the reason why we are much focused on agriculture is simply because man is not supposed to die at 60. Man is not supposed to die at 70, 80, 90. The least a man should go is above 100 years. Because the whole concept of a generation is that you will leave something for the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you cannot live past 3 generations, it means you have not literally fulfilled the full potency of your existence in this dimension.
Wow. Okay.
3 generations is basically 120 years old. Because every 40 years starts a new generation. Hence, the popular saying that life begins at 40. These are things that our fathers used to teach. So why we are focused on our Greek is because we want to come to a place where your body on its own can live long enough to sustain your assignments here. Because the body is a system that is designed. That is why we say Nimpa Dia, the human tree. So that is how our ancestors called us. We are the human tree and we have the forest trees. So the human tree can only survive on the forest trees. This should be our food because that is who we are. One thing nobody has paid attention to, what does the tree eat?
We even saw some movies that trees are talking. So, I mean, like they're really showing us that this thing is a reality, but we just don't see, right?
No, because we are not operating in our witchcraft anyway. That's just a joke. But every tree, right? Every single tree is feeding on trees. There's not a single tree that feeds on anything else aside the tree. Now, everything that does not give it life willingly to you, when you eat it, you poison your system. Everything. So the tree, the Creator created the tree in such that when the tree matures, right, the tree will now bear a leaf, bear a fruit, bear a seed. And there are certain plants, when you don't even harvest their food, they die. Because the plants are literally telling you the information that the Mother Earth has given them has come into maturity. So it's about that time that you receive the data that is coming from the Mother Earth into your body. So this data that the Mother Earth is passing through the tree comes into your body to repair every single thing. That is why pouring libation is so significant, because literally you are sending information to the Mother Earth, telling the Mother Earth how you are, the state that you find yourself. So once you pour libation on the land that you grow on, the tree, the Mother Earth, the earth itself would make sure the crops that you are harvesting on that particular earth will come into your body to address the exact problems that is going on in your body. Because during the manufacturing processes of the tree growing, the information that you pass on to the Mother Earth, the Mother Earth received it. And now the Mother Earth wants to give you the answers by the trees that are growing on the very earth that you are pouring libation on. That is why it's so significant. So our fathers never just went onto a farm to start growing trees. No, they poured libation. They honored the earth. They honored the gods that were in charge of the earth. Because the only thing that can repair the human being is the earth. The earth is the only real doctor for every human being. That is why I always say this: I triple challenge any doctor to come and tell me one medicine that the earth did not teach them how to manufacture it. Just one. So the earth is constantly relaying data, not just physical data, i.e. the physical body, not just emotional data, as in your mental faculty, but also spiritual data and information for your I am self. The reason why most people don't come into their true self is because the synthetic food we eat close the channels and the portals that would allow us come into our real self. The natural food we eat has the keys to open up certain memory structure that would reconnect us to our real self, that we would begin to now operate fully as a human being. So until you come to your real self, you can never operate fully as a human being. You're only operating as a human. Now, the earth is what has the keys. The trees are the manifestation of the information that the Mother Earth is passing back to you.
Wow.
That is why we as a community are so much versed in farming. And we are not just only farming, but we are restoring the seeds that have been corrupted by these people because of greed and because they want more and they want money, so that our trees can now go back to its original state, so that we can begin to enjoy the original data that the Mother Earth is passing on to us. I don't know if but it's not actually complicated. It's a simple thing. All that I'm saying is that we love agriculture because the mother speaks back to us every time we spend time on the farm.
It is just so deep and so truthful for those that are conscious and those that understand. But one thing that you made me and I stopped some attitude or some habit, it was exactly when you told me, hey, Nana, stop eating somebody's child. And I was like, I eat people or what? You say stop eating egg. You're just eating the children of the hen or the chicken. And so stop eating some people's child. Can you just tell us that? Because the day you said it, and since that day I don't look at egg. Because each time it's in my brain, oh, one egg that I ate, it's just like
You see, everything in this dimension goes through a process, whether you know it or not, whether you are aware of it or not. Life, like I said, does not end. Life keep recycling. Recycling in the sense that every human being keeps moving from stage to stage. In as much as I don't comply with the whole evolution theory, at least they tried to get something right about the whole evolution theory, in the sense that they understood the fact that the same life force that is in the human being is the same life force sustaining the animal, not a different life source. So part of the evolution theory is that the advancement of why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing at a comment that Kofi is asking whether all the sisters here practice juju or voodoo. You know, when I look at some of the questions, I mean, to bring your attention to it. It's okay, go ahead.
So the whole process is such that everything before it comes into this dimension, life goes to look for a vessel that is best suited for its abilities. So the creator creates numerous abilities. Some have ability to tilt the earth. Some have ability to clean the sea. Some have abilities to maintain the mountains, to maintain the rivers, to maintain the forest. Some have ability to walk on the face of the earth. So every creation that the creator created exists to operate in a specific ability. So let's come back to the egg. The life force that decided to use the egg as a vessel to come into this dimension with is coming from the creator. So the life in that chicken is just like you. Both of these lives are coming from the creator. Now, one life is deciding that, you know what, I want to be a chicken so that I can help in the processing of the eggs. Because one thing people don't do, chicken keeps the balance of the food chain in the earth. And chicken keeps turning the soil so that there can be enough pores created in the earth for air to go in and out of the earth. Now, the minute you decide that every time the chicken lays an egg, I'm going to make sure that I eat that egg, you are literally denying that life force that wants to also experience this dimension, entrance into this dimension. So, i.e., the egg, i.e., the cow, i.e., the sheep, i.e., the goat. These are all life forces that have come from the creator to experience this dimension in the form of a cat, in the form of a dog, in the form of a fish, in the form of any other animal. That is why our fathers had that intelligence that until that particular thing gives its life willingly to you, to say that you can have this life, not just for the satisfaction of your tongue, but for the building up of this vessel, for the advancement and the enhancement of this vessel. I am giving you this life so that you can enhance this vessel and advance this vessel to accommodate the assignment that you have come here to fulfill. So there are a lot of us walking about that you are full of many memories from a tree, many abilities from a tree, many abilities from the earth, because the earth, the plant, the vegetable, the banana, the fruit decided to join its forces with you so that you can have a better life.
Wow.
Now, when you stop an animal from experiencing this dimension, the animal automatically begins to resent you. And when that animal begins to resent you, that memory is taken back into the dimensions. The next animal that comes out of the lineage of that animal you went to feed on would automatically remember what you did to the ones that came before you. So now, when you go and feast on this very animal, what happens to you is that that memory of that old animal come back into your system, and now, instead of advancing your system, begins to shut down your system because you are paying the price of denying that very animal that existed before, but you didn't give the chance to experience this dimension. Hence, that is why we get sick every time we eat these things, because the spirit of these things don't agree with us. If not anything at all, they automatically become viruses into our systems. So in our tradition, you never eat what is not willingly giving itself to you. So any animal that does not willingly give itself to you, it literally begins to fight you with time, and you would pay.
Enough. Kojo, you're just blowing my brain, and I think even the the viewers, but of course the followers are enjoying it, and they're saying you're really talking organic, and that there's just too much fact and wisdom in what you're saying, and I think that's the key. Until we get to this kind of dimension, that we can understand this conversation. It's really deep. It's so deep. If we're still shallow, I mean, I follow your lectures. That's why a little bit I even begin to get an orientation, and which is very healthy, and which is really our true self. And you'll see how enemies around you, even physical presence around you, begin to break. And you'll be thinking that they're doing it for you. They're doing it for themselves because you've just rejected all those things. The kind of demonic spirits that we're saying, or whatever, the negative witchcraft that we're saying. Okay.
There's nothing like a negative witchcraft. It's just the people that use witchcraft for negativity.
All right. Yes. I mean, I'm saying the people that use the witchcraft now for other means. Yes. Kojo, what should we learn, and how do we begin that?
So, for the first time on your show, I decided to try and make a note. So I don't know how that is going to work out, but I'm going to try to help myself be guided by a note. So the first question I asked in my note is, what is spirituality? And we need to understand that spirituality is something that you do not think or you do not talk about. The terminology itself is an action word. The terminology is not a word that even suggests you talking about it. So the fact that majority of us wants to experience spirituality, but yet we are too busy reading books and running around and listening to seminars and doing all of that, is the reason why majority of us are not practicing witchcraft. I told you the note is not, I'll try. In most cases, I thought the subject itself give it away, but most people don't even understand the subject, spirituality. What is the meaning of the English word spirituality? So I decided to dig around and find out what most definitions say. So spirituality, one definition says spirituality is a broad concept with room for many perspectives. In general, it includes a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves. This is the definition out there, not my definition. I will pause on it and ask the question, is there anything bigger than ourselves? Because if the definition to their spirituality is that you connecting to something that is bigger than yourself, then it means, what it means is that yourself is of a lower creation value than another thing. So is there anything that is bigger than who we are? And of course, I'm not talking about this physical body. So I don't agree with this definition, but I had to read it. It goes on to say, and it typically involves a search for meaning in life. As such, it is a universal human experience, something that touches all of us. Now, this is just basically going round about it, but didn't at all define what spirituality is. But let me pick on it. Searching for the meaning in life. Now, whenever you bring your mind to this place where you are trying to search for the meaning in life, then you are literally saying you are separated from life and you are different from life, because you are trying to search the meaning in life. It means that you've taken yourself out of the equation of life and you are not a part of life. So again, this is the loophole to this aspect of the definition. Others said, spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or sense of being that there is something greater than myself. That is also wrong, because spirituality has nothing to do with the feeling at all. Whenever we talk about a feeling, you are only talking about your emotions. That is your mind. You are feeling. Your mind is active. Your mind is working. In spirituality, the mind has nothing to do with it. So let me go on. Something more to being human than sensual, the sensory experience. That's the greater whole of which we are a part of, a cosmic or a divine in nature. Now, I'll pick on a sensory experience. Our sensories are not just what we have in our physical sense. So when you talk about sensory experiences, you should not just limit it to what you can touch, because there are days that you can be in a room. You don't see anything physically touch you, but you feel a touch around you. So now the question is, what is making you feel that touch while there's no physical presence in that room? So spirituality, in this sense, goes beyond this physicality that we find ourselves in. So if you are trying to be spiritual or get spiritual, and you are only using your physical means or your physical essence as a measure to understand what spirituality is, then again, you are not also experiencing or practicing spirituality. Another sentence says, spirituality means knowing that our lives have significance in a context beyond a mundane everyday existence at the level of biological needs that drives selfishness and aggression. Selfishness and aggression. It means knowing that we are significant part of a purposeful unfolding of life in our universe. I can go on and on and on and read so many definitions out there. But the truth is, it doesn't matter how many books you read. It doesn't matter how many definitions you have about spirituality. It doesn't matter how many conferences you attend about spirituality. All these things has no value to what spirituality is, and does not even come near to what spirituality is. So the only thing that gets you, after all these books that you've read, after all these definitions that you've come to, the only thing that gets you to become is inspired. So you literally only become inspired after reading all these spiritual books and these spiritual texts and what have you. But the inspiration that you get from all these spiritual seminars and what have you It's not spirituality either. What is inspiration? Inspiration simply means you are being inspired to do something that you want to do. Right? So the fact that you are inspired to do something by reading a book, a text, what have you, doesn't mean you have become that something. So the question is, who is a driver? Is this somebody that is trying to learn to drive? Is this somebody that is trying to go to a Bible driving school? Is this somebody that is taking an online course about driving? Is this somebody that has spent years reading every article there is to driving? Who is a driver? A driver is none of the above. A driver is somebody who has actually sat behind the wheel and moved the car from one location to another location. That individual might have never read anything about driving. That individual might have never been through any driving school. That individual might have never attained any certification about driving. But the fact that that individual was able to move a car from one location to the other location, that individual qualifies to be a driver rather than anybody reading anything. So in this case, what is spirituality? Spirituality is something that somebody is actually doing and not reading about it, and not talking about it, and not thinking about it. You can think, you can talk, you can read, you can watch. Until you actually start doing it, it is not spirituality. Hence, mind you, I am not saying the experiences in spirituality. I'm only talking about the subject of spirituality. Until you start doing it, you are not practicing spirituality. So, when we come to doing, then the question is, okay, so what do I have to do to start practicing spirituality? As a matter of fact, I will not go through the different layers of it. Just taking a single step towards spirituality is you practicing spirituality. Somebody will ask, okay, what single step? What are the steps that I can take? Just learning to offer thanksgiving. Now, people will say that, wait a minute, but I think we do thanksgiving all the time. I think we go to church and we do thanksgiving. I think we are thanking, we are giving thanks all the time. Okay. The question is, why do you give thanks? Why do you give thanks? Right? So I'm sorry that I always put you on the spot, but because I can't see the audience, I have to ask you.
I give thanks. Let me just say what? For life, or just give thanks for challenges, give thanks, just give thanks. Anyway, I don't know. For everything, for life.
Okay, so you are still telling me the act of giving thanks, but you are not telling me why you do it.
Connecting to, I don't know.
So having that awareness that you have to do something means that at least you know that that particular thing is. Because without knowing that that thing is, then how do you gain the awareness to want to do it, right?
Sure.
So most people give thanks because they are told that they have to wake up every day to give thanks. They are told that they have to give thanks to the Creator for what is happening in their life. They are told, or they read it somewhere, that they have to give thanks because it does something to you. Or you have to give thanks because the powers that be respond to it more. So they give thanks not because they are experiencing thanksgiving, but they give thanks because they are told it is good to give thanks.
True.
So
that's a fact.
spirituality is When you come to this place where you understand that you are alive, you are aware that you are alive, automatically the next line of action is gratitude.
Yes. True.
You don't have to be told. Nobody has to encourage you. Nobody has to tell you. Nobody has to force you. No situation can influence your thanksgiving. Because
Absolutely.
you come to this place where you understand that I am alive. And the fact that I'm alive is bigger than anything. And the fact that my life is bigger than anything, it means nothing is too big to suppress my thanksgiving. So you will come to this place where you no longer say, oh, I'm not in the mood to give thanks. I woke up very upset. You would never wake up upset when you understand that you are alive, when you begin to experience life. So why I said something as simple as just giving thanks starts you on a journey of spirituality. What I literally mean is that when you begin to be aware of the life force that you are, when you begin to understand that you are not different from the Creator, you are an extension of the Creator. The reason why we say the Creator is omnipresent, He's everywhere, is because human beings are everywhere. And the Creator is connected through every single human being. So every single thing in creation is connected to the Creator and is representing the Creator at any level or any dimension. Hence the omnipresent state of the Creator. We go again. The all-seeing. Why? Because the Creator is in everything. The Creator sees everything. The Creator is everywhere. Because of that reason, the Creator sees all things. Because all things are just an extension of the Creator. So when you come to this place, you begin to understand that, wait a minute, I am alive. The Creator is existing through me. When you have that understanding that the Creator, the one that created the multi-dimension, is existing through me, how can you not give thanks?
It's true.
How does depression stop you from giving thanks? How does the money you owe stop you from giving thanks? How does the bills that you have to pay stop you from giving thanks? How does you not having a place to sleep stop you from giving thanks? Because everything that exists because the Creator gave it permission to exist. And you, even though you don't know it, you are just a representative, an extension of the Creator. So every time you wake up with a Creator. Every time you go to sleep, you are still up with the Creator, because your real you still comes alive. Hence we say the Creator does not sleep nor slumber. You as an individual, you do not sleep nor slumber, because when your physical self goes to sleep, your real self come alive. That is why in your sleep, you begin to have a dream and you are roaming everywhere. There is not a single attribute given to the Creator that the human being don't display. So when you begin to see life through this spectrum, now nobody is telling you to give thanks. You know you have to give thanks. You're not even telling you, even when you try to stop yourself from giving thanks, your real self will not even give you the permission not to give thanks.
Powerful. Wow.
So this is the first step of spirituality. You being aware that you are just an extension of the Creator. Now we are talking spirituality. So when you understand this concept, you begin to understand that, wait a minute, this simply means is that spirituality has nothing to do with our ancestors. Okay, I know I'll mess. People would go. Listen, the mistake majority of us have been doing in our awakening is to subject spirituality to ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
Spirituality has nothing to do with ancestry. A lot of people also think that the gods are the ancestors. No, the gods are not your ancestors. The gods are living beings in other dimension, just as you are a living being in this dimension. So the gods are not your ancestors. When you want to throw in the technicalities, this particular statement can overturn, but then you have to literally go into the technicalities. So, who are the gods? Who are the ancestors? Unless I don't understand the terminology of what an ancestor is. So, in order to save all ourselves, it's better to try and give the definition of what an ancestor is. It being an English word, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's type the word ancestor. What does it mean? I like to do this because I want to bring everybody to the same place. Ancestor, a forebearer, a forebear, somebody who came before you. Ancestor, another definition, a forerunner, somebody who did what you are doing before you started doing it. Ancestor, a person, typically one more remote than the grandparent, from whom one is a descendant. So I want to ask a simple question. Which of the gods are you a descendant from? I'm not asking you directly. It's a rhetorical question. You understand? So which of the gods do you bear their DNA? For that God to become your ancestor. So you need to understand there's a difference between your ancestors and the gods. So therefore, the practice of ancestral worship is against everything spirituality stands for. Because if your ancestors came before you, lived their life in this dimension, and spirituality is basically the understanding of what life is about, then right from the definitions, we begin to understand that there is a differentiation between those who have come and gone and you that is alive. So spirituality is basically you understanding the process of life. So how can you now, and I'm not saying our ancestors are not alive. They are, but they are not experiencing their life in this dimension. So how can you, that is experiencing your life in this dimension, now begin to worship another that came before you? I think when most people are putting across the word ancestral worship, they forget to understand themselves that a few hundred years to come, you would also become an ancestor. So the question is, should people start worshiping you when you are dead and gone? So why are you worshiping those who came before you? Why? Again, today I said I made a little note, so I want to go through the note. Those who we refer to as our ancestors may not necessarily be walking and floating around us, hanging on the trees, sitting in our bedrooms, sitting in our kitchens, having a room they come to sit in. Those that is not who our ancestors are. How much of ancestry stays alive within you? On one level, it enriches you. On another level, it enslaves you. So what I'm trying to say is that your ancestors are not in this dimension with you. Your ancestors have come into this dimension, contributed their quarter to this dimension, and have moved on to the dimensions that they are in. So they are not sitting around hanging on trees, waiting for you to come back from the work and they will ask you, oh, my great-great-grandchild, how was your work today? The ancestors are not doing that. Right? Now, where are the ancestors then? The ancestors are literally the very essence that you see whenever you go and stand in front of a mirror.
Oh, Kojo. So I look at myself in the mirror. Am my ancestor?
That is it.
Okay.
Since a lot of people are looking for representation of the ancestors in this dimension, then don't bother, don't waste too much time looking any far, consulting anything. Just stand in front of the mirror. When you go through your family photos, you begin to see that there are so many resemblances of yourself to those who came from your lineage before they got to your turn to come here. So your ancestors are literally living through you. They are with you everywhere you go. Your ancestors are the ones carrying your face. Your face is not yours. Nobody comes into this dimension with a face, with a nose, with a walk, with a posture, with a body type, with a body shape. Everything you have in your physical essence is passed down to you from one ancestry to the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like building a house and willing your house to your great-grandchildren. What do? They come and live in the same house you lived in. It doesn't mean it is the same person living in that house. So you chose this physical essence because you decided to come through that ancestry, that lineage. So you came, your real self came to inhabit a body that has been in this dimension for thousands of years.
Wow. Hey.
That is why you can take a picture today and that image looks like somebody who existed 2,000 years ago. Because it is the same body. This body goes through recycling, gets prepared again, look for another host. That host chooses this body, comes into this dimension, and live its experience through this body that you have. So the level of ancestry in every single individual actually depends on the individual. Having the ancestors living through you is good, but too much of it will also destroy you. What do I mean by this? I'll come back to it in a minute.
Honestly.
I'm really trying to keep to the notes, but it's not working. Let's see. We are who we are only because our forefathers, what they learned, what they knew, their skills, their abilities, their technologies, their sense of life. Their sense of life have all been adapted by us knowingly or unknowingly. So let me read the point again. I'll break it down. We are who we are only because of our forefathers. So as our beautiful queen, Dr. Tata, is sitting here, she looks this way only because her ancestor looked this way. So, knowingly or unknowingly, everything that is showing on the screen today, you adopted it from your great ancestor.
Okay.
And when you went ahead to adapt their body, every memory the body had, you also possess now.
Mm-hmm.
But the question, as to whether you are using it or not, that is a whole new conversation. So if your ancestor was a prophet, automatically you begin to operate in the office of a prophet. If your ancestor was a healer, automatically you begin to operate in the office of a healer. If your ancestor was an architect, automatically you begin to operate in the office of an architect. Why? Because the body, this vessel that we have, came into this dimension with its own intelligence and its own ability and its own equipped skill. Now the trick is, you also came into this dimension with your own ability, with your own skill, with your own potencies. The problem is, when you allow that of your ancestors to gain much control over your existence here, you lose yourself.
How, Kojo?
That is why a lot of people never live their life in this dimension, but only the life of their ancestors, which is against what life represents.
How do you know?
You wanted to ask a question. Oh, ask it.
Now it's like, how do I know that this is my own life and DNA is the ancestor, as you said? How do I know?
This is why it's very significant that you know who you are. And that is
Okay.
why the gods equipped me the ability to teach the subject of the I am self. Knowing who you really are and differentiating between who you are and who your ancestors were.
Okay.
Now, you can use it as an added gift if you want it, but you came into this dimension with your own abilities as well.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, you took time to process the life of that particular vessel that you chose to come into this dimension with. You analyze the weaknesses of that life. You analyze the strength of that life. And you, before you came into the dimension, said to yourself, oh, these are the weaknesses. These are the strengths. Well, I am coming into this body to advance the body, to take this body to the next dimension. But most people come here failing to do that.
This is deep.
You understand? So long as you fail to do that, you come into this dimension not fulfilling the life that you came to fulfill, but you've allowed that ancestor or that power, and don't forget, it's not just one ancestor. It's collection of a whole lot of data. So now it means that your real self is not strong enough to wield this vessel. So when you want to try it again, maybe you will try with the lower vessel of maybe a bird, maybe a snake, maybe a plant, maybe an animal, because that is of a lower essence than this human vessel.
Okay. Kojo, there are a lot of people signaling that they want to ask some questions. So when you're ready, and yes, I know we'll continue. We'll continue when we take some questions. What is your opinion on that? How much time do you need again?
Let me just make 2 points and we continue.
Yes.
Okay. Just because you don't remember who your ancestors were doesn't mean they are gone. They live through you always. The way you talk, the way you walk, the entire physical being, the shape that you are. This is simply because they are living through you. From the beginning of your life, this may not be evident, saying I don't ever want to be like my mother, or I don't ever want to be like my father. I don't ever want to walk like them. The funny thing is, you eventually begin to walk like them. The simple reason being, you carry the genetic codings of that same person that you don't want to walk like. There's a popular saying in our Aka language that if you want to know the end of your wife, go and look at her mother. Whichever how her mother is looking like now, that would definitely be the end of your wife. That is exactly how your wife will look at the end of the journey. Why? Because it's coming from the same DNA structure. Anyway, time for questions.
Yeah, I'm opening up the lines. I see a lot are saying that they want to ask questions. So please call. Don't call using the direct line. Use the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp. Yes, Elder Kojo. People are asking, how old are you to be called an elder? Does it have age limit or something? Anyway, I'm picking up the questions. Yeah. Hello. Yes.
Told me that I had a spiritual union with a sentient being. Do you know what that might mean?
Kojo, did you hear that?
No, please, I didn't really get a question.
All right, just go over again because the volume was too low. Can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
I once was told by a brother from Haiti that I have a spiritual union with a sentient being. Do you know what that means?
Are you asking me, do I know the meaning of the spiritual union, or do I know the meaning of the sentient being? Which is which?
It's not what, they're not independent. They're together. What does having a spiritual union with a sentient being means? I don't know what it means, so I wanted to ask a specialist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on, because that's just one of the beings. There are so many beings in the dimension. But it means the main subject here is the spiritual union, right? So then the question becomes, that sentient being, is that sentient being a god or not a god? What it is, right? Because a god can partner with an individual to help the individual fulfill their assignment or their potential in this dimension. That is not an evil thing. That is not a bad thing. That is actually a good thing. Oftentimes, these powers, these entities tend to be the watchers and protectors of these individuals. So union is just between two entities coming together, whether the entity is a physical being or another being in another dimension. It's just coming together to operate as one.
Okay, I appreciate your expertise. Thank you.
Yes, please. And the person who was asking how old I am to be an elder, in all humility, it means the person has no idea what I've been saying all this while. Life is not created today. Life has been in existence since the beginning of creation. So the life, if you are asking how old of the life force that is talking to you right now, then that life force is very old. If you want to know how old is this physical presence that I am occupying, then that is a different conversation. Because the person talking to you now is not the physical essence. This is just a vessel that I'm using to carry out my assignment in this dimension at this specific period of time.
Okay. There's a question. The brother here said, can I make a choice of which ancestral I want to be or to represent?
Once you are already here, you've already made a choice. You made a choice before you came into this dimension. That is why you carry the body that you carry presently. That is why you are from where you are from. We choose which parents we want them to give birth to us. It's not the other way around.
Okay.
The parents don't choose their children. Children choose their parents. Children choose what house, what community they want to grow up in. That is why, if you remember when I was praying for the little baby, I said the gift should not repent choosing that particular place to experience this dimension. We choose, not the other way around. So the fact that you are in this dimension, making this call right now, it means that you've already chosen which ancestry you want to be connected to.
Can you influence it? Okay. Anyway, you say you chose it.
Yes, you choose it, but the reason why you chose it is because you knew this vessel would help execute your assignment here. You don't choose it ignorantly. You choose it very much aware of what it can do.
Okay. Yes. So the how to get started is knowing who we are.
How to get started is even coming to the place of understanding what life is, what your life is, who you are as a living existence. Then you begin to understand who you really are. That's the first process into spirituality. Because if you don't know who you are, how then do you become spiritual?
So how do we do it? Are there some steps, like you said, tips, or yes, knowing who we are? How do we know? As a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's a course just like any other course in this dimension. Because everything we know now, as we studied it, right? So knowing who you are is a course that I'm actually running in the community, which would help you understand who you are and who you are not. The other time, I was trying to explain the differences between your accumulations and who you really are. And majority of people are actually living through your accumulations. Your accumulations are not who you are. So, i.e., the name that you carry is not who you are. The identity you've identified yourself with, i.e., the country, the continent, the skin type, the race you are, that is not who you are. The clothes that you wear, the job that you do, the husband that you marry, the children these are not who you are. These are just accumulations. So you understanding to differentiate between these accumulations and who you are is where you start from the journey of identifying who you really are.
Hi. Kojo, how much does that cost to take? How much does it cost? I'm picking this call. We'll get back to that. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you once again, Dr. Susan Tata, for this occasion and for this platform, bringing in those we can discuss with and learn about our ancestors' spirituality. And I have one question for Mr. Kojo. I want to know when he said our ancestors that does not represent the gods. So can he talk about God and who are the gods or who is God?
Elder Kojo, did you hear?
Yeah, so I said there are differences between the gods and the ancestors. So majority of people refer to the creator as a god. The creator is not a god. The creator is the creator. The creator does not have a name. Our ancestors, our fathers devised a technique or an intelligence or an engineering to come up with names that best represent the creator. So in our tradition, we have names like Odumankuma, Obadia, Onyankopon, and all that. And every tribe have their own names that they use to describe who the creator is. So the creator, to begin with, is not a god. Now, the creator, when you want to understand who the creator is two energies put together. So the creator is both a masculine energy and a feminine energy. The masculine energy is the seed sower. He's the one that initiates everything. The female energy is what we call the Mother Earth. The Mother Earth is not just about this earth. The Mother Earth is a representation of everywhere that there is existence. I mean, force, life force. So everywhere, the feminine aspect of the creator is the Mother Earth. So we honor the Mother Earth as the feminine side, as the one that produces, as the one that gives out everything that the creator intends to give out or give back to living beings. Then we come to the elemental beings. The elemental beings are the channels through which everything that exists in this dimension was created through. So we have the earth, we have the air elements, we have the earth elements, we have the water elements, we have the fire element. Every single thing that exists on the face of the earth is coming from these four elements. And the power that glues all of them together is the ether, the fifth element. So the air element is governed by the powers of the air dimension. So that is the God that are existing in those dimensions. They don't exist in this dimension. Then we have the earth element. We have the God that live in the earth, not on top of the earth, not the trees. They are worlds. There are multiple dimensions of realms in the earth. There are multiple of dimensions in the heavens. The heavens is what the Bible subjected to as the heavens. In the beginning, he created the heavens and the earth. Those in the heavens, not necessarily when you look up, the heavens are dimensions. So those in the heavens are the air elements. Those in the earth are the earth elements. Those in the water world or the water realm are the water element. And those in the fire dimensions are the fire element. Each and every single one of these elements have their heads. So when you are referring to these elements, we say the power of the earth element, the power in authority in charge of the heavens, the water elements and all of that. So that is another aspect of the God. Then we come to the powers not known, the powers that human beings don't even know they exist, because their operation is beyond just this dimension. So they exist, they function, they are doing stuff, but human beings don't know that these are the powers that when they reveal themselves to a human being, automatically the human being becomes a genius overnight. Why? Because the human being is bringing into manifestation that which nobody has ever taught before. How did the human being acquire that knowledge? Because a God that is not known has just revealed itself to a human being. That is the ether. That is the power that glues all of it. Then we come to the days. Each and every single day is a God. Whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, whether you understand it, whether you don't. Each and every single day have the same characteristics. So everybody born on a Monday behave the same way. On a Tuesday behave the same way. On a Wednesday, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are. These are the gates that human beings come into this dimension with. These gates are governed by gods, by powers. So we have Esi, Ajo, Abne, Aukuya, Efi, Amen. That is the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. These are all gods. Then from there, we come to the powers, the gods that are created to protect each and every individual families. So every family has a god. That is what we call watchers, or in religion, they will call angels. These are the gods that communicate between not the creator, but between their hierarchies, between the powers in the various elements and the dimensions and the days and the human beings. These are the gods that our fathers, our ancestors came into covenant with. And they are the ones that taught our ancestors everything they know. These gods are not dead. They are still existing. They are still alive. And they taught our ancestors everything they know. So the question is, would you still want to invoke a presence that is no longer in this dimension, or you would want to inquire from the same teacher who taught your ancestors everything they know? So then we have the gods. So that is the differences between the gods and the ancestors.
Wow. Hey, how much we have to learn. How much of learning that we never ever knew. All right. Your community and the education, I'm very interested because I want our followers to get this straight and to know that this is what we've been anticipating or advocating for. Like, if we just know this and we just know and just go back to know who we are, we just make every other system irrelevant, isn't it? Because it's so deep. This information, sorry, it's like this is the beginning. We need to we need to unlearn every other thing and get back to just knowing who we are as melanated people, and to be able to make the other systems that we've been believing or being in our illusions just disappear somehow, or just make them irrelevant.
And they know it. That is why you see everything. This is how you know what is and what is not. This is how you know the things that helps you and the things that will not help you, right? Everything they talk about publicly is useless. And when I say they, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Everything they make noise about is useless. The things that they don't talk about, those are the things that you need to investigate to find out. Why are they not talking about these subjects? When you read about
Kojo, hello? Did we lose him? I can't hear him. Of course, we lost him. Okay, I think we lost him. I don't know, power or whatever. But this is so interesting. I mean, I don't know how you feel out there watching this. Yes, we're getting there. We are getting there because I can still remember even the words of Professor James Small, who said, yeah, we give birth to ourselves. So when we are saying it's a continuity, it's like we are giving birth to ourselves. And it's going the same line like our elder Kojo is breaking it down here, like, and that's why some people say we are gods.
Yeah. So
Nothing.
So what happens is that they don't talk about the things that you must know, and they will not teach the things that you must know. When you go to the scriptures, it tells you, honor the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. They tell you that. So honor the Lord. So they are telling you to honor your God, the Lord your God. So whichever God you have, honor that God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your might. Sorry. Now, when I tell you, I need you to invest all your money to me, does that include you?
Yes.
No, think about it. When I say, I need you to invest all your money to me, does that include you?
No.
So it means you are different from the money.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Bible is telling you, honor the Lord your God with all your heart, which is spirit, with all your soul, which is thought, your mind, your intellectuality, and with all your might, which is your strength, the ability to do things for yourself. So you use everything you have to honor the Lord your God. Who are you? Who are you that you are using all your heart, your spirit, all your might, your body, and all your thought processes to honor this God? That they never talk about. So who are you? Because the one that is actually accessing all these intelligence is the real you. But you don't even know this you. This you is the one that the Creator created. The Creator did not create your body. The Creator did not create your mind. Neither did the Creator create your heart. The Mother Earth and your ancestry is the one that has created all these things into manifestation. The only thing the Creator created is the real you.
Stephen, that's true.
That is why it's very necessary that you begin to understand who you are. The real you that has the spirit, that has the might, the mind, the body, and that has the soul, the mind. When you begin to know who you are, now you'll be able to use these things to execute your reason for being in this dimension. And hence why we are running the program. It's called the I Am program. We teach the theory aspect of it every Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT, and we go into the practicalities where we practice spirituality, not talk, not think. Practice it every Wednesday. In the community, so we have a WhatsApp page that we put all the information there.
Can you just give us an example? Just like an example of, okay, one sentence, not much. We do this, and then this is how we practice it. For instance, libation. Good.
So, like, you said I should put one word, but you bring a whole subject like libation. How do I put libation in one word?
No, I'm saying like you said you do the theory every Sunday, 7 p.m. That's correct?
Yes.
Where do you do it?
No,
How
we
can
do it on Zoom. It's a Zoom meeting.
All right, so you send the links for the Zoom and people register, right?
Yeah, we send the links for the Zoom and people, yeah.
Okay, so because the audience is asking, so you would drop us the links every time that we're on the show, so we ask the people who want to follow you, or do you have a page or
just the YouTube channel? When you go to the YouTube channel, the WhatsApp number or the WhatsApp group, the link is in my YouTube channel. So when you click on the link, it will automatically bring you into the group.
Okay, so but the YouTube channel is your name?
Kojo Bentil, yes.
All right, so you guys, you got it? Kojo Bentil. That's the YouTube channel, and you click the link, so you would get to it. All right.
WhatsApp number is there as well. So if you're not able to come through the link, the main WhatsApp number is there. So you can just send a message on the WhatsApp number as well.
Okay. All right. So we got it. Blind guy, his wife, their life is their life. Is this PayPal link receiving the GoFundMe link? We put the PayPal link because it's active again. Remember, sometimes it was shut down, but now the PayPal link is working. The GoFundMe link is also working. I don't know, all the links have been put inside there. Yeah, do we have the PayPal and the GoFundMe link? Yes. Okay. Yeah. The technical is confirming. Yes, we have the PayPal link and then the GoFundMe link. It is active. Please share it and share and share. We're still not moving even an inch from our goal, and we need more. We need more. We need to support. We need to keep the programs running. And like I told you, I need a sponsor. I haven't heard anybody. Are you scared? I need a sponsor. Inbox me and ask, Susan, what are the conditions to be your sponsor? I'm not talking about the Pan-African Daily. I'm talking about me. Ask me, what are the conditions to be your sponsor? All right. Elder Kojo, a lot of people have been saying this is the God talking to us. And when you want to bring a message, they kick you out from us getting into that dimension. But one thing that you're saying is like, until we know who we are. Is there an age that we need to know? Or you can say even at 80, now when I know who I am and I live for 5 years, so I just lived I lived how did they say it again? I lived my full potential. My full potential in 5 years. Even at the age of 80, if I discover at any time who I am, that's when I begin to live.
There's no age limit. I mean, once you begin to discover who you are, what you've been failing to do for 80 years, you can do it all in a year, in a single year. Okay. So there's no real age limit. But the difference is that you should remember, you have been in a particular program for 80 years. In a particular program. So the only thing that is going to take is that you have to be committed to want to rewrite the programming that you've been operating with all these while.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So once you have that commitment to say that, you know what, I need to find who I really am, that is it. You can easily do it.
Is it different from, like we're saying that we Africans, so Black people, we are operating on undercodes and agendas that have been set, learning other things that is not us. Like we have to start afresh again to know who we are, go back into our spirituality, isn't it?
Yeah. So the problem is that when it comes to knowing who you are, there's no textbooks that help you. Let me say, there's no textbook on the face or text or script on the face of the earth that can explain who you are except yourself.
Hold on, I'll pick your call. Yeah.
So there's no text that would help you explain who you are. That don't work. It doesn't work like that. So my job is not to explain to you who you are. My job is to help you find who you are. Now, when you come into your real self, all the information that you miss from the dimension into this place will be taught to you by your real self. You're going to say. So just as me and you are talking right now, your real self will now begin to sit in front of you and teach you things and tell you things and educate you on things that nobody else can teach you. Because you came with your own manual. Every single person came in this dimension with their own manual. Nobody came here without a manual. But your manual is locked up within your real self. You are the only person that can uncover it.
Okay, Kojo, let me pick up this call. This brother has been waiting, and then I have one last question again. I don't know. Hello?
Hello.
Yes,
Yes, can you hear me?
properly. Absolutely. 100%.
Perfect. Thank you, Doc. And greetings to my brother there. I'm very, very happy to be here. And all I can say, I'm very glad this has been a complete revelation. I would like to thank Brother Kojo for answering a lot of questions even before I get to ask them. So I would say real appreciation to that. My most pressing question was what he mentioned already about a life lost to this world is not really a life lost when he explained the prayer about what has been happening in Cameroon and the kids
Yes.
dying in the fire. Yes. Because in his explanation, I got some answers to what I've been wondering. From where I come from, when a child is born, in most cases, the elders already know about the child before the child comes forward, before the mother gives birth, to the extent that sometimes they have already chosen a name and they know the path of the child. When the child comes into our hands, they already know. Then what I want to ask to brother, it's partially what he has been explaining already in the answers he has been giving right now, is that it doesn't happen with everybody that you come into that good structured family or guidance that you realize your path and you have that self-awareness already on you. You might have it as you are young, as we understand in most cases. You find kids, they have got a certain ability to detect the environment, to sense the negative energies or the positive energies, all that we don't actually understand. But as you grow up and you live through experiences and accumulations, then you somehow probably lose all that sort of purity or your pure form that helps you like detect your environment and be aware, your self-awareness. So my question comes like, as you were mentioning, there's not really an age limit to it, but what can be done to somebody who is willing to really say no? I understand exactly what he is saying and what is happening, and I'm aware, but it seems like my accumulations, all these frequencies, has kind of like overtaken my being, that they are so powerful that what I eat, what I listen to, what I watch,
Yes.
my memory, my traumas, yes, everything, my traumas, they have become to be like a toxic state where I don't operate in a way I feel like this is the path for me. How do I get started to shed off all